Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard Cisneros at your service. Today I will be reading the August 6th post and making a couple comments on it, and I trust that it will assist both of us on our journeys. Here we go. Who you are now is who you have trained yourself to be. Who you in truth are is an all-loving, compassionate, forgiving, and joyful being. This is the real you. This is the real you that you are now on a journey to remembering and sharing with others. To remember who you are, you need to practice being the person you desire to experience. Thus, consciously practice continual, loving, compassionate, forgiving, and joyful thoughts, actions, and reactions. The more you practice them, the more you realign with the truth in you. Then, they will simply become the natural, comfortable, and honest extension and expression of you. Today, let us give gratitude for every moment, person, or situation that is giving us an opportunity to practice, recall, and realign with our true nature. Who we are today, or really who we think we are today, is simply who we have trained ourselves to be. Now, there is who we are, which is our truth, the loving, compassionate, forgiving being that we are. That is our truth. And then there is the person who we have trained ourselves to be. Somebody who can have love, compassion, and forgiveness, but also be judgmental, angry, stressful, etc., angry, etc. Have negative emotions, experience negative emotions. And so we become judgmental because it seems easy to judge because we have so often trained ourselves to judge. It seems easy to be angry because we have so often used anger as a response. It seems easy to be stressful or anxious because we have so often used anxiety and stress as a response to your normal daily activities. And so simply, we are who we have trained ourselves to be, both positive and negatives. Even though those positives and negatives are all solutions, because you are only love, compassion, and forgiving. And therefore, today, let us train those muscles that are truly ours, those physical, emotional, and physical muscles that are truly ours. The act of, forgiveness, compassion, love, kindness, generosity, all those are truly us. But to realize and to remember that they are truly us, we must practice them and try to practice them every single day. Even when the ego but when the ego demands judgment or anger or stress or anxiety, today, let us remember this is not us. This is simply some muscles that we have trained ourselves to be. And so today we will not train those muscles. Today we set those muscles aside. Those muscles of anger, judgment, anxiety, stress. When it happens, when the ego demands it, we realize it, and then we set them aside. And then we practice our true muscles, our true being, our true selves. We practice being our true selves, which means if the ego demands judgment, we put judgment aside, and we strengthen the muscle of forgiveness. If the ego demands condemnation, we put that aside, and we train the muscle of compassion. If the ego demands stress or anxiety, we get that it's demanding that, we put it aside, we do not feed it, we do not add logs to the fire, we simply put it aside, and then we choose the muscle of trust. Trust in our Creator and trust that He has the highest, His will and our highest will are one, and that we are going to be all right. In the end, everything turns out all right. Trust instead of worry or becoming anxious. And so we strengthen the trust muscle. We strengthen the love muscle. We strengthen the compassion muscle. And the more we strengthen them, the more we realize and see that, hey, this is really us. I feel really good and at peace doing this. Why? Because this is really us. Pretty simple. What in truth we are, will bring us peace and love, compassion, forgiveness, kindness, generosity. All that, when we do that, it brings us peace. Why? Because that is truly who we are. So whatever the ego demands today, set it aside, and then we work out our true muscles. Set aside judgment, use forgiveness, strengthen forgiveness, realize that forgiveness is truly a part of you, and then at the end, offer gratitude. Gratitude to whoever brought that judgment to you, that person, place, or thing that you started judging. Offer it gratitude because today you were able to set that aside and use that instant, that moment, to strengthen your true self, your forgiveness, your compassion, your generosity, your truth. But it was only because the ego demanded something that we were able to come back into the moment, set that aside, set the illusion aside, the ego's illusion aside, and practice our true self, and then strengthen our true self. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining me today. I love you very much. Please be so kind as to like or comment on the video, on the YouTube video, because it does help, I guess, in the listing or whatever it is they do with it, or how it gets listed, or forgive me. I'm not very knowledgeable with these tech things. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me today. I love you. Take care. And I'll see you, God willing, tomorrow. Peace.